Hey, hi everybody. How you guys doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing good on this hump day, Wednesday evening. Getting back to the memorable playoff series, and we're up to 1990. Now this one, of course, I'm wearing Edmonton here because this ends up being the last Stanley Cup that the Edmonton Oilers won. And this one it was interesting because Edmonton was not exactly supposed to win this one. At least, everybody was thinking Edmonton was on their downturn. But they proved, hey, we got one more in us. So the Oilers rode to this. They finished the regular season. Of course, they're still playing 80 games. They finished with a regular season record of 38, 28, and 14 for 90 points. Good enough for second in the Smythe division. And they didn't have home ice at least in the final. They didn't have home ice, and they play in the final. They play the Boston Bruins, who again in 80 games they finished with a record of 46, 25, and 9, which I believe did win their division. If I go back here, because I did look at it, if my computer would not be so slow. But I believe that won the division for Boston, and they were in the Adams division. Now, the road to the final here, first for the Edmonton Oilers, in the Smythe division semifinal, they played the Winnipeg Jets. It took 7 games. It took all 7 games to beat the Winnipeg Jets, and I don't think anybody really expected that, but it took 7 games. They go to the Smythe Division final, where they play the Los Angeles Kings, the now Wayne Gretzky-led Los Angeles Kings, and they sweep them 4-0. So that made they basically told Gretzky at that time, they're like, yeah, we're gonna toss you aside here, at least in that series. And then in the Campbell Conference Final, they defeat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-2 to end up playing for the Stanley Cup in 1990. Now the Boston Bruins, kind of something similar here. Oh, the Oilers ended up going to the finals. They ended up with a 12-5 record going to the finals. So they're 12-5 going into the Stanley Cup final. Good record. Now the Boston Bruins, their road to the final. They played the Hartford Whalers in the first round. That one went all 7 games. Those two teams always kind of played tough. The Whalers and Bruins always played each other tough. And the Bruins, they got the better of it. They won 4-3. And then they played the Montreal Canadiens. Now normally, this is normally always a bad matchup for Boston. Not there. 4-1, they beat Montreal. And then in the Wales Conference Final, they swept aside the Washington Capitals. The Capitals kind of overachieved a little bit. And, they get to the conference final where the Bruins just get away. And so the Bruins were a favorite. The Bruins were the favorite going into the final here. And, we kind of thought that that's kind of how that was going to work. Not so much. Game 1. We get into game 1. We have Edmonton winning game 1. In the first period, at 9:46, it's Adam Graves from Joe Murphy and Craig Simpson. I swear I can talk. So that puts the Oilers up 1-0. That is the score after the first period is 1-0. So we go into the second period. Okay, nothing like a kid needing something. But so back at it here. It's 1-0 after the first period in favor of the Oilers. So we get into the second period, and at 13 minutes, it is Glenn Anderson making it 2-0 from Mark Messier and Reiho Ruotsalainen. I believe that's how his name's pronounced. Ruotsalainen. Reiho Ruotsalainen. So it's 2-0 after 2 periods. We get into the third period, and the Bruins they kind of go and say, okay, now we're awake. At 3:43, it is Ray Bourque from Cam Neely and Greg Hawgood to make it 2-1. So they're hanging in there, and then they go and they tie the game. At 18:31, the same guys that scored on the first Bruins goal, they get the second Bruins goal. It is Bourque from Neely and Hawgood. That makes it 2-2, and just incredible. And heck of a game so far. We go through 1 overtime, nothing. Go through 2 overtimes, nothing. And then finally, at 15-13, and this is where some controversy was in there because Peter Klima had not really played the entire game. And the coach decides, we'll throw him out there. So they put a guy out there who hadn't really played really all game long, and he scores the game winner in triple overtime at 15-13. It is Peter Klima from Yari Curry and Craig McTavish. 3-2 is the final. Oilers win game 1. They go into Boston. They stun the Bruins in game 1 in triple overtime with a goal by Peter Klima. And yeah, amazing game. Now, the goaltenders. Bill Ranford, goaltender for the Boston or for the Edmonton Oilers, he stopped 50 of 52. Pretty good performance. Andy Moog of the Boston Bruins stopped 28 of 31 and Ranford had a .962 save percentage in the game. Andy Moog had a .903 save percentage in the game. Pretty good performances in the game. But it also shows just how badly that the Bruins outshot the Oilers. I mean, 52 shots Ranford faced. Woo! 52-31, basically. Yeah. And but the Oilers get a big win. They take home ice away from the Bruins, and now can they carry the momentum into game 2? Oh, emphatically they can. Going into game 2, at 8:38 of the first period, it is Adam Graves from Murphy and Randy Gregg. So that makes it 1-0 Oilers. Then they get a power play goal just a little over 2 minutes later. It is Yari Curry from Esa Tikkanen. That makes it 2-0 at 10:53 of the first period. 2-0 in favor of the Oilers. But then at 19:07, it is Ray Bourque from Cam Neely to make it 2-1. So it cuts the lead in half, and that's the score going into the first intermission. So we come out of the first intermission, start the second period, and then on the power play, Boston ties it. It is Greg Hawgood from Ray Bourque and Randy Burridge, 2-2. So you're thinking, all right, here's the Oilers again, up 2 goals, and they're blown lead. Well, that is as close as the Bruins then would get, because then at 4:21, it is Curry from Tikkanen And then the floodgates open. At 15:28, it is at 15:28, it is Craig Simpson from Jari Kurri. That makes it 4-2. And then at 17:10, it is Esa Tikkanen from Jari Kurri. See kind of a pattern there with Jari Kurri. That makes it 5-2. And then at 19:12, it is Joe Murphy from Steve Smith. That makes it 6-2. And that's the score after the second period. Then we get into the third period, and at 7:27 on the power play, it is Kurri from Ruotsalainen and Mark Lamb, 7-2. And that's the final score. The Bruins just get destroyed in Game 2. The Oilers go into Boston and take the first two games in emphatic fashion, especially in Game 2. Bill Ranford stopped 25 of 27 for a .926 save percentage. Reggie Lemelin looks like he got the start in the game. He stopped 14 of 18, or I don't know, maybe not. No, Moog would have gotten the start. Moog would have gotten the start. He stopped 1 of 4. He only made one save on 4 shots for a .250 save percentage. Ouch. And then Reggie Lemelin comes in. He stops 14 of 18, .778 save percentage, a 7-2 just butt kicking. So the Oilers are up 2-0, going back to Edmonton, and the Bruins, they kind of get a little semblance of, a little bit of pride here in Game 3. We start Game 3, and just 10 seconds in, it is John Bice, B-Y-C-E, from Cam Neely to make it 1-0 Boston. Just 10 seconds in. So good little momentum for the Bruins. And then at 15:04, they extend that lead. They make it 2-0, a goal by Greg Johnston from Burridge and Bob Sweeney. That makes it 2-0. No scoring in the second period. We get into the third period. And then at 5:54, on the power play, it is Esa Tikkanen from Kurri and Smith to make it 2-1. But that is as far as the Oilers could get. The Oilers could not get that tying goal. And so the Bruins, they find a way to win Game 3. Andy Moog stopped 28 of 29. Good performance. Good rebound performance for a .966 save percentage. Bill Ranford stopped 20 of 22 for a .909 save percentage. So the Bruins, okay, now they go into Edmonton and they get one. Well, Game 4, the Oilers kind of put the kibosh on that little attempted comeback, because in the first period, on the power play, it is Glenn Anderson from Simpson and Lamb that makes it 1-0 Oilers. Then at 16:27, it's Anderson again from Messier and Simpson, 2-0 Edmonton after 1. We go to the second period, and then just a minute into the second period, it is Craig Simpson from Mark Messier and Glenn Anderson. So Glenn Anderson's having himself quite a game here. 2 goals and an assist so far. That makes it 3-0 in the second period. And then at 19:15, those last minute goals of a period, it is Tikkanen from Kurri and McTavish. That makes it 4-0. This Oiler team was stacked with talent. I mean, Esa Tikkanen, Jari Kurri, Craig McTavish, Craig Simpson, Glenn Anderson, Mark Messier. I mean, what a team these guys had. So it's 4-0 after 2. And then in the third period, no scoring up until about until the 15:02 mark. It is Carter from unassisted. From he just had to do it all by himself. He makes it 4-1, so the Bruins get somewhat closer. But at 18:36, it is Craig Simpson from Glenn Anderson and Mark Messier makes it 5-1. So Messier or Anderson, heck of a game. 2 goals and 2 assists for him in a dominating performance by the Edmonton Oilers, a 5-1 win. That puts the Oilers up 3-1 in the series. Andy Moog stopped 28 of 33 for an .848 save percentage. Bill Ranford stopped 24 of 25 for a .960 save percentage. Just a great performance. And the Oilers have a stranglehold on this series. They go back to Boston, and they kind of finish the job. Game 5, there's no scoring in the first period. We come out into the second period, just a minute 17 into the second period. It is Glenn Anderson again, starting off the scoring. Unassisted, makes it 1-0 in favor of the Oilers. Then at 9:31, it is Craig Simpson from, you guessed it, Glenn Anderson, to make it 2-0. After the second period, we get into the third period, and it just the destruction just keeps on going. At 6:09, it is Steve Smith from Messier and Simpson. That makes it 3-0 Edmonton. Then at 14:53, it is Joe Murphy from Lamb and Martin Jelena. Makes it 4-0. And then at 16:30, Boston, at least they didn't get shut out. Lyndon Byers from Don Sweeney and Ray Bork. That makes it 4-1, but that is the final. The Edmonton Oilers have won their 5th Stanley Cup in 7 seasons. This time, instead of it being Grant Fuhr backstopping him, it is to a Stanley Cup, it is Bill Ranford. Ranford stopped 29 of 30 for a .967 save percentage. Andy Moog for the Bruins stopped 18 of 22, an .818 save percentage. And yeah, this ended up, this was the last Stanley Cup that the Edmonton Oilers would win. They've been to the finals a couple times since then, and they come up a little short in both of those. But this Oiler team, man, they were for sure the team of the 80s. The team of the 80s. I mean, 5 Stanley Cup championships in the span of 7 years. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, and the Boston Bruins, the poor Bruins, they lost to the Oilers twice in 3 years. They lost to them in 1988. They got swept in that one. In this one, at least they got a win, but they still get just smoked by the Edmonton Oilers, 4-1. So the 1990 Stanley Cup champions, the Edmonton Oilers, and yeah. Now the 1991 series I plan on looking at is a series that I myself have been looking forward to going over for a long time, because especially me growing up as a kid, this series was without a doubt very, very memorable, and yeah, I look forward to covering that one. So, but let me know what you guys think of the 1990 Stanley Cup Final, and yeah, so hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button too if you really enjoyed it and you love the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love you forever. And yeah, if you want to share this video or any other videos on the channel, go right ahead. Hit share with friends, family, whoever. And yeah, so the 1990 memorable series, the 1990 Stanley Cup Final between the Edmonton Oilers and the Boston Bruins, won by the Oilers. And like I said, the 1991 series I plan on looking over. I've been looking forward to doing that one for this whole run up to that. I've been really looking forward to doing that next one. So let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe. Just a little tap. Just not nothing too strenuous. Just a little tap on that like button and a little tap on that subscribe button, and also a little tap on the share button to share with whoever you'd like. So yeah, Oilers winning their 5th cup in 7 years. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later.